What happens at Grandma's stays at Grandma's is a model for you and your grandkids. If it's fun, it's fair game. But lately, hip pain has you grimacing more than laughing. And that's a moment you realize life's too short to put off treatment any longer.
The Joint and Spine Center is Cincinnati's leading destination for orthopedic care, with hundreds of joint replacements each year. So when a moment has the power to change the rest of your life, go to the one place with the power to change it for the better. The Christ Hospital Health Network. This changes everything.
The Pound This Podcast is brought to you by the Christ Hospital Health Network. This is the Pound This Podcast, episode 583, Shay's Weight Loss Journey Weekly Updates.
I want to lose weight, but I don't know how to get started.
What should I meal prep every week?
How do I get those sweet booty gains?
Inspiration for your healthy lifestyle. The Pound This Podcast with Amanda Valentine.
Thank you so much for listening to the Pound This Podcast. I'm Amanda Valentine. Shay is here again. Shay, what's up?
I'm back again.
Yeah, you back, bitch.
They can't get rid of me.
How was your last week?
You know, it was just the same as all the other weeks this year.
That's a good way to put it.
Yep. Yeah, no, it was okay. Yeah, the weather's been good, so that's nice. Yeah, I didn't do anything too out of control this week, so that's good.
Yeah. Other than coming over to my house and having some drinks, watching 90 Day Fiance.
That's right. That was good. You know, that's what I got to do to get through, though, so.
Yeah, I feel that. Except for like, oh my God, I just like, I don't know how hungover you were because you're younger than me, but I'm like.
No, I didn't feel good. I slept most of Sunday.
I just like, I wasn't horrible but it was just also kind of like, just one of those things where you just feel it all day. And I'm like, oh my God, like, why do I do this to myself? Like, I know that I'm going to feel like garbage, but it's like so fun in the moment.
I know, dude. That's why DeWine has wrecked my life with this. You can take drinks to go now. And that's going to be permanent. So don't even get a margarita to go because then it's hard to stop doing.
Well, yeah, I saw that the margarita you had to go is like gigantic too.
It's like a soup container. It's huge. And so I was like, let me get two. And then I got them and I was like, this is a large soup container full of margarita. So now I know to just get one, but let me tell you, it's not a good habit to start.
Yeah, I feel like the beginning of COVID, I was drinking a lot more because that's when, my husband started working from home and Mike's like, let's just drink out on the porch. I'm like, okay. But I haven't been doing that at all. Like, so I drank with you this past weekend and I'm probably not going to drink again until I have my little Friendsgiving that I'm having. And then I'm probably going to get super drunk for that and then probably regret it. But
so basically you only drink with me.
Right. Well, yeah, because I mean I
feel special.
I've never been a drink alone kind of person.
It's not good.
Mike does that a lot though. But he doesn't get hungover like I do. And then I get blackout and he doesn't get blackout. It's real easy for me to get blackout drunk. And then I just, not only do I feel hungover, then I'm just kind of like, oh my God, what did I do? And I just have so much anxiety. It's not worth it. And plus I was a pretty big drinker in my 20s, but for like, I'd say, the whole time I've been on a weight loss journey, I really didn't drink. I haven't drank that much. I still drink, but it's not a regular occurrence. So like maybe like once a month, maybe. I mean, there was a couple stints in there for a while. It was 2017. I don't know why I remember the year, but I went almost 6 full months with 0 cheat meals, 0 alcohol. I wouldn't even have an extra piece of Melba toast. Like I was so insanely strict. And then I finished off doing the Flying Pig Marathon with a bunch of beer and pizza, and I just got messed up. Again, one of those things that shouldn't be an all or nothing because you're just going to hurt yourself.
Yeah, I didn't drink when I did that liquid diet for 14 weeks. And the first time I drank after that, I got so drunk because my body was like, what is this?
Yeah. So, I mean, I think it just all depends on the person. Like some people can be the all or nothing, but what I've learned with so many people that I've talked to over the years of just kind of like just moderation, just like again, that's what I have a problem with, and I have the same problem with food is that like once I get going, I get spun out of control. Like it goes into a binge, and I'll do that with drinking too. Of like once I have enough drinks in me to feel buzzed, it's real easy, especially if I'm with other people, to be like, yo, let's party. Like, yeah, woo! And then I just go nuts. And I will just keep drinking until I pass out somewhere. And that is not healthy. And so,
oh my God.
It's just like, but I've seen so many people are like, yeah, I have a couple glasses of wine, you know, like once a week, and it's totally cool. And I don't know, that just like doesn't jive with me. 2 glasses of wine in, it's like, well, we're going for another one.
I just don't, it's really horrible, but I just don't really see the point of drinking if I'm not gonna like have some fun.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
I'm not doing it for the taste.
yeah, I guess it just, again, it all just depends on the person of like, you know, a lot of people drink wine to just relax them, but it doesn't relax me. It just makes me want to get hammered. So I don't know. It's case by case basis. That. But how's everything else going? Are you still sticking to the weighing yourself once a week?
Yeah, surprisingly. So it's been three weeks, or I think 3 weeks of doing that, maybe 4. But yeah, so that's been a lot better. I'm not like weighing myself at night and in the morning.
Yeah, that's good. Are you still like?
But I literally have to put my scale. Yeah, I mean it's so funny because every week, like when I'm not weighing myself every day, I'm like, oh, I probably gained 20 pounds this week. Like my head's so jacked up. But then I'm always like basically, you know, give or take a couple ounces the same. So.
And so what are you officially down now? Is it 92?
I mean, yeah, I'm a little bit up from that. So I'm not at 92 right now.
Oh, well, that's totally fine. But I mean, still like, dang, that's pretty amazing. When we've talked about this a lot during the whole crazy year of like, either people are gaining weight or they're getting super healthy. Like everybody's just kind of all over the map. So I think that staying steady is like such a huge win when everybody is all over the place. And who I think for most of us, like who we were in January is very different than who we are now. We've all aged so much in so many ways.
Yeah. Well, and it's like a huge deal for me to like easily stay under 200 pounds. So I'm like just trying to take that as a win.
That's a huge win. That's awesome.
Yeah. I didn't think I would ever be able to do that without really struggling. So.
Yeah. So it's like, I think that's just such a good way to do it of like, let's just stay here and be proud of this. And then, you know, we've both talked about just like being not in the best mental space this year of like, okay, well, hopefully things get into a better space sometime soon and we can kind of get back on track.
I hope.
Yeah.
Let's just laugh about it.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Things are going to be great soon. Really things are. I mean, it's just like, it's so many of just focusing on gratitude and
right.
I mean, it's super important because there are a lot of really good things going on in a lot of people's lives right now. You can try to counteract like this, just insanity of how the world is behaving. And I think especially for those listening in the United States, the next month or so is just going to be more bonkers than usual. So it's like, let's get through election season and then maybe some sort of calm down. I don't know, of at least can we just get more positive news stories? Not that I don't want to bury my head in the sand and like ignore what's going on in the world, but it's like, damn, I could really go for some positive news.
Right. Well, and I've had so many people, I feel like within the past like 2 weeks, tell me crap that they're dealing with this year. And it's like really on top of like what's going on in the world. I don't have a lot of like additional trauma happening. And I know so many people who have like lost loved ones this year and lost their jobs this year. And I'm just like trying to be appreciative of the fact that I have a job, and other than, as how crazy 2020 is, my life is fairly normal.
Yeah, totally. And I don't know if you listened to the last podcast I had with Elizabeth Benton. Did you listen to that?
Yeah.
Where I'm like, when we were talking and she talked about how, oh, this has been a rough year. And then she talked about how she lost one of her kids. I was like, oh my God, I thought she was going to go into COVID talk. And I'm like, oh my God, this woman is dealing with 2020 on its own and then losing a child. Then I'm like, how are you staying on track? Like, I don't think I could do that, honestly. I think that if I had a major life event like that, I think that I would eat a birthday cake every day. I don't know. And it's like, she had such amazing advice, and again, it's like one of those things to be grateful for what you have, because you just don't know what other people are going through. Like, my God, like how intense. I literally cannot imagine how hard that is right now.
No, I can't imagine either. And I'm like, man, I'm on the struggle bus over here, and they're like, I cannot even imagine what they're going through.
I know. So it's a wild ride. And I mean, for me, and again, it's just this one person's opinion, and I know we've talked about this before, of like, in this year with everything that everybody's dealing with, and everybody has their own issues of, like you said, job loss or getting sick or losing loved ones, the list goes on. If the worst thing that happens out of that from that is that you gain some weight, I feel like that is fine. If that's what you got to do to deal, there are worse things that can be happening than gaining weight right now, in my personal opinion. Like, I just feel like if you're having a hard time dealing, maybe just forcing yourself to eat chicken and broccoli right now is maybe not the healthiest. I'm not a doctor, but like, that's just my own opinion. But damn, if I had people that I was losing loved ones and losing jobs, if I'm eating a chalupa at a deal, I feel like I could be making worse choices.
I know. I agree. I'm like, if the worst thing I do is occasionally eat ice cream, it's okay.
Right. Well, speaking of the chalupa, I saw somebody on TikTok that had, like, I guess Taco Bell has like this family size set of nachos now. And he's like, I'm going to eat this whole thing by myself. And I'm like, oh, it's kind of bad that I would probably do that too. If you were like, I don't know about right now, but I could. Like, there's a previous me would be like, oh yeah, that's not for a family of 4. That is for one Amanda.
Yeah. It doesn't matter how long I'm on the journey. I think I still could probably eat a whole thing like that.
Oh, for sure. And I had a situation where I was at like this big corporate dinner a few years ago, and their whole thing was like, there's these giant pork chops, and like nobody can eat these. And I'm like, oh, I'm like, is this a dare? Because 1, I like dares, and 2, this is done. And like, the owner of the company was taking pictures of me because I ate 2 of these pork chops and ate all the sides. I'm like, I can eat a third. I'm like, they're like, oh my God, how could you, where do you put all this stuff? I'm like, don't you understand that I, like, this is my binge eating issues. Like, this is why I have a weight problem. It's like, I got no problem packing away food. I could win food challenges. If there was no time limit on most of these food challenges, like Man versus Food, I could crush all of them, except maybe the one where it's like all eggs. Like, I don't know if I could do a giant omelet.
Oh.
But it's like, if there was no time limit, I could eat all of that food. That's my damage. That's why I have weight issues.
Right. You're like, because I can eat a whole large pizza, no problem.
Yeah. And I've eaten 2 large pizzas by myself. I did, like,
Damn.
Have I not told you this story? I know I told this story on this podcast a lot, that like, that's when I was super binge eating every day and hiding all the trash when I lived in Denver, that I ordered pizza, and I ordered 2 large pizzas for myself. And when the pizza guy showed up, I acted like I had people over. Like, I was like, hey guys, like, I like literally did that. So he wouldn't think that I was sitting there going like this dude freaking cares. He's just delivering pizza. And I was acting like other people were there, that I wasn't going to wolf both these pizzas down. And I got like halfway through the second one, and I was in so much pain from eating. And I'm like, I don't want there to be any evidence. I was such a like clean your plate club is how I grew up. I'm like, you can't throw this pizza away. I can't put it in the fridge because Mike will know that I'm like ordering pizzas and I don't want him to know. So I like powered through it and ate them all. And
Oh my God.
yeah, like that's where I have been in my life before. And I'm like, I'm definitely not there now. Which is even on my worst days now, I don't behave that way anymore. But it's like, I was doing that sort of stuff all the time. So it's, yeah, I have packed away an insane amount of food in one sitting to put myself in pain on purpose. Which is crazy because like, and so many other people do things to numb out or to, to drink or drugs or anything else. And food was, and I still struggle, especially this year now, because this year's been rough of reverting back to like, that's where I know a comfort is. And I've been in a war with myself this year. Luckily I have a therapist to walk me through it now, but it's like, nobody knew a pandemic was going to show up and everything else of like, how do you deal? And like always in my life, it's like, well, I like to eat to deal. And so
yeah, same.
That's rough. And I think that's such a problem that most people don't talk about. I know we always end up talking about it because we have the same, we do the same thing, but it's like, I don't see that in my Instagram feed and I don't see news stories about that. Like, it's just not, it's just weight loss stuff and not like, oh, you're eating to the point of pain to numb out the other pain in your life. And how do you deal with that?
Right.
And I rarely see that sort of stuff.
No, like sometimes this year I literally fantasize about what it would feel like to like sit on my couch with the TV on and just eat, like shove food in my face for like 30 minutes. And then I'm not thinking, I'm not feeling, I'm just like literally completely my brain shut off. I'm like, that would be so nice. And I just like fantasize about it. I'm like, that's crazy that I'm sitting here fantasizing about that.
Yeah. Oh man, I get it. Well, that's why I think it's so important to talk to someone. So if anybody's listening to this and you feel the same way, definitely reach out to a therapist. I mean, Ashley Solomon has been on this podcast many times at Gallia Collaborative, and they are doing virtual. So even if you're not in Cincinnati, like that's my recommendation because she's got a team of women that deal with, body image issues and food issues. But it's like, sometimes like I didn't realize that what a problem that was for me or how I was even doing it at the time. I didn't realize I was binge eating or how I was using food as a coping mechanism. I just thought, oh, I just love food, And so I just feel like for this year, so many people are tapping into that maybe for the first time or are tapping back in, even if you've had it under control. And I'd say I haven't been binge eating this year. Nothing like I've done before. I haven't really gone into a binge, but I've definitely wanted to use food to feel better. And I haven't been that way in a while. And like, because it's like things are hard and it's just, again, like I'm trying to get off social media and stuff because I don't know. I don't know if I would define myself as an empath or if like that's what a label I want to put on myself. But it's like, I deeply feel those things. And like when I see people fighting online, like it feels like a fire in my stomach. Like I can't handle it. It makes me, I take on those feelings and I hate it. And I'm like, and then it just makes me want to eat because I don't want that. I'm trying to like figure out all these things I need to shut off out of my life because I'm like, it's making me feel crap that's not mine. Like, I don't want to see people fight online over masks or presidential candidates or anything else because I internalize it and then I want to eat to get rid of it. And so that's just, I haven't had to deal with that in a while, but this year is weird. So
it is weird. No, I'll like go into a therapy session, like talking about the crap I'm doing with food. And my therapist will be like, what do you think you're not like feeling or not like, or what do you think you're avoiding? And I'm like, I don't know. And then by the end of like 10 minutes in, I'm like crying about something that I don't even really realize that I'm feeling because I'm trying to like avoid it all.
Yeah.
It's like I'm not even aware enough to be like, oh, wow, I really was having a feeling.
Yeah, right. And that's where we're going to an all deep therapy chat this week of like not only the food thing, but what I've learned in my own therapy this year is just that I also numb out by like being like overworking myself, of constantly busying myself. And so it's like, then that's the avoidance that I've been using instead of food. So it's like I worked myself out of the food, like avoiding feelings. And so now it became like, well, working 18 hours a day. And so it's like, then it's like, well, that's just a different coping mechanism. Like, let's unpack that now too. And I'm like, oh my God, being human is freaking hard. This is dumb.
I know. I'm like, I don't want to unpack it.
I know. Like, I just like, why can't I just like live my life and like love every day? And like, why do we have to deal with this crap and worry about what our bodies look like and what we're eating and all this other crap of like, oh my God. Not to be a bummer. I don't want to be a bummer, but like, damn, I just want people to know that if like they're feeling this way, which according to everybody I've talked to in real life, not online, everybody is feeling a degree of this. There's other people feeling it. Ask for freaking help. Talk to someone, talk to your friends, talk to a therapist. Because I know before we started recording, you had to listen to me vent and dump all my crap on you. So thank you.
Damn. Now I need a therapy session just from listening to you. God. Whew, I thought I had some problems.
Oh my God. That's why I just numb out with 90 Day Fiance.
I know, me too now.
Oh, well, anyway, on a happier note, what's the plans for the next week? I mean, still seeing Josh at the gym, going for nice fall walks, just kind of more of the same, staying on track.
Yeah, because every week's kind of the same right now. So yeah, I'm just trying to do as well as I can.
Yeah, and that's, I think that's just the best thing we all can do is just do the best we can right now and see how it goes.
That's right.
Try to focus on the good things, that we have a choice to have a healthy food, that we can move our body. And that hopefully it's nice outside, go for a walk. It was awesome outside yesterday, at least here in Cincinnati. It was like beautiful fall weather. It was awesome.
Yeah, I love it. That's like my ideal weather.
I know, so soak it up while it lasts. All right. Well, hopefully we can have like not such a deep conversation next week of going into food issues and whatever. But we'll see. We'll see what the next week brings.
I know. We'll try and be more lighthearted next week.
Yeah. So sorry if this bummed you out. I mean, I'm trying to think here. I know how to lift everybody's spirits. Get offended if you want. You want to hear my favorite pickup line? So like, let's pretend I'm a dude and I'm trying to pick you up in a bar. So Shannon, Shay,
all right.
I'm like, they call me, hey, I just want to let you know, they call me Jack Daniels because I'm a hard liquor.
Oh, oh God, I'd fall for some guy that said that to me though.
Right? I'd be like,
you're funny, okay.
Yeah. Now buy me a drink.
That's awesome.
All right. On that note, I'll talk to you next week.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
For info on health coaching and more, go to AmandaValentineBites.com.